Welcome to e-lesson on hydraulic actuator, electrical actuator, stepper motor, control valve characteristics, presented by B. Venkateshwarlu, senior lecturer. Hydraulic actuator. On completion of the topic, you would be able to know about principle of hydraulic actuator, advantages and disadvantages of hydraulic actuator. Hydraulic actuator accepts a signal from a pneumatic controller or an electronic controller and employ hydraulic pressure to drive an output member. Here we know that the hydraulic actuator accepts the signal from the controller. The controller may be pneumatic controller or may be electric controller and employ a hydraulic pressure to drive the output member. The hydraulic actuator is used where high speed and large forces are required. So wherever you require large forces and high speed, then you employ a hydraulic actuator. The basic principle is shown in the figure. The basic idea is the same as that pneumatic actuator, except that an incompressible fluid is used to provide the pressure. The principle is almost similar to the pneumatic actuator, except that incompressible fluid is used to provide the pressure. The hydraulic pressure can be made very large by adjustments of area of the forcing piston A1. Here the forcing piston A1, area A1, the forcing force F1 that causes hydraulic pressure is created in the liquid of hydraulic. This hydraulic pressure acting on the large surface area of A2 piston that creates a working force. The same pressure, the same hydraulic pressure acting on the large member of surface area A2 that causes more force is generated, more working force is generated. The hydraulic pressure is given by pH equivalent to F1 by A1. So the hydraulic pressure is a relation. It is a ratio between force F1 to the piston area of A1, where pH is the hydraulic pressure in Pascal, F1 is the applied piston force newtons, A1 is forcing piston area meter square. The resulting force on the working piston is given as Fw equivalent to, it is a product of hydraulic pressure pH and area A2, where Fw is the force of working piston meters, it is working piston area meter square. The working force is given in terms of applied force. So Fw is equal to A2 by A1 of F1. The animation you can see in the slide. The hydraulic pressure created working force on A1 and A2, large forces are created. Example problem. Find the working force resulting from 200 newtons applied to 1 centimeter radius forcing piston. A. If the working piston has a radius of 6 centimeter, then find the hydraulic pressure solution. A. We can find the working force from Fw equivalent to A2 by A1 of F1, Fw equivalent to R2 by R1 whole square of F1. So R2 is the radius of working piston, R1 is the radius of piston A1. So R2 equivalent to 6 centimeter square, where R1 equivalent to 1 centimeter square of 200 newtons, which given as a working force is 7200 newtons. Here we know that we applied a force of 200 newtons on force area of A1 piston. That causes we generated a working force is 7200 newtons. Thus, 200 Newton force provides 7200 force. The hydraulic pressure is, the pH is equal to Fw by A2, 7200 newtons by pi r square, pi of 6 into 10 to the minus 2 meters whole square. The hydraulic pressure, which is equivalent to 6.4 of 10 to the 5 pascals. The advantages: high thrust, fast speed, high stiffness coefficient, which is having high thrust, fast speed, high stiffness coefficient, self lubrication. Disadvantage: complex design. Hydraulic pressure is a complex design. Hydraulic actuator having a complex design, large heavy structure, hazardous, fluid viscosity sensitive. Here we are using a hydraulic liquid that causes hazardous of flame is possible, so it is makes a hazardous. Fluid viscosity is sensitive. Summary: we have discussed about principle of hydraulic actuator. The principle of hydraulic actuator is a force of F1 is applied in a less piston area, that causes incompressible pressure is created in the hydraulic liquid. This pressure acting on the large surface area of piston A2, which creates a working force. So from less force we can generate a large forces by using hydraulic compressible pressure. This is the principle of hydraulic actuator. The advantages and disadvantages were discussed here. Quiz. An hydraulic actuator. A. The area of forcing piston is less than the area of working piston. The area of forcing piston is greater than the area of working piston. The area of forcing piston is equivalent to the area of working piston. D. None. So our answer is A is correct. The area of forcing piston is less than the area of working piston. So A1 is less than the A2. The frequently asked question from this topic. Explain hydraulic actuator. List the applications of hydraulic actuator. Next topic is electrical actuator. On completion of this topic, you would be able to know about electrical actuator. Here the electrical actuator is a solenoid. Solenoid is a elementary device. It is a elementary device that converts an electrical signal into mechanical motion, an electrical signal into the mechanical motion, usually in straight line. Solenoid is an elementary device which converts an electrical signal into mechanical motion, usually in a straight line. Here we can see that induced field inside the coil. The plunger is moving inside the coil. The current is flowing. The induced field inside the coil, the plunger is moving out. The current is in opposite direction. Whenever the AC or DC signal is applied to the solenoid coil, the induced EMF causes the plunger is moving straight linely x displacement of the linear movement of the plunger. So the plunger is used to open or close the valve. The plunger is connected to the valve to open or close the valve in a pipeline. A simple solenoid consists of a coil and plunger as shown in the figure. The plunger may be freestanding or spring loaded. The coil may be operated by either DC or AC voltage. The plunger may be freestanding or spring loaded. The coil may be operated by either DC or AC voltage. The specifications we can see. Solenoid specifications include the electrical rating and the plunger pull or push force when excited by the specified voltage. Solenoid specifications include the electrical rating and the plunger pull or push force when excited by the specified voltage. Some solenoids are rated only for intermittent duty because of thermal constraints. Some solenoids are rated only intermediate duty because of thermal constraints. In the case, the maximum duty cycle, percentage on total time will be specified. applications we can see here. Solenoids are used when large sudden force must be applied to perform some job. Solenoids are used when large sudden force must be applied to perform some job. These actuators are best suited for a small, short stroke on off valves requiring high speeds of response. Solenoid actuated valves can open or close in 8 to 12 milliseconds. So solenoid actuated valves can be open or closed in 8 to 12 milliseconds. In figure 2, the solenoid is used to change the gears of a two-position transmission. An SCR used to activate the solenoid coil. The control signal from the controller is applied to the signal conversion amplifier. The current signal is converted into voltage signal. The voltage signal is applied to the amplifier. That amplifier amplification of the signal of the weak signal and given to the gate of the silicon controlled rectifier SCR. So when gate is on, then AC power is transmitted to this coil of the solenoid. So this AC signal causes, there is an induced EMF in the coil that causes the plunger moving in a straight line. The plunger attached to the lever mechanism, so its position is changed opposite to its spring. So we are converting this lever position into the rotational transmission of the output. So it is a two-positional transmission of the two-directional rotational transmission of the position of the system by using a solenoid. In many process control pipelines, solenoid valves where the plunger can act value stem also are used for quick closing or shut-off operations. In large pipeline, shut-off values are operated with the help of pneumatic, air or hydraulic oil, which are in turn controlled by solenoids valves fitted in the hair line or oil line. So in many control pipelines, solenoid valves where the plunger can act as a value stem also are used for quick opening or shut off operations. In large pipeline, shut off values are operated with the help of pneumatic air or hydraulic oil, which are turned in controlled by solenoid valves fitted in the hair line or oil line. Solenoids moves in a straight line and therefore require a cam or other mechanical converter to operate rotary values. A practical solenoidal valve consists of a valve body, a magnetic core attached to the stem and disc, as solenoid referred in the figure. So here the practical solenoid consists of a valve body, a magnetic core attached to the stem and disc and solenoid coil. The magnetic core moves in a tube that is closed at the top and sealed at the bottom, allowing the valve to packless. Here we can see the Direction of the flow through the wall de-energizing, housing, solenoid coil, sealing coil, coil connections, stationary core and plunger movement, the movable core plunger, and which is a stem position. The stem is connected to the disc of the single seat plug valve in the pipeline. So pipeline inlet and outlet is the outlet is controlled by using the single seat plug valves which are operated with the solenoidal valve. When a coil is energized, the orifice opening we can see in the slide. Magnetic flux paths, spring is compressed, opening the seating area of the valve. The orifice opening you can see. The liquids flowing in the pipeline can be controlled with the solenoidal valves. A small spring consists of the release and initial closing of the valve. The valve is electrically energized to open. A small spring consists of a release and initial closing of the valve. The valve is electrically energized to open. The figure shows both re-energized and energized condition of the valve for better understanding. Disadvantages: although the force output of the solenoids may not have many electrical or mechanical limitations, their use as a valve actuator as economic and core or stem travel limitations, and they are expensive too. Designs are available with a separate positioned which accepts 4 to 20 milliamps from the controller and delivers a DC output signal to the solenoid. Valve position feedback is obtained through use of linear variable differential transformer LVDT mounted directly on the valve. Summary: we have discussed about electrical actuator solenoidal valve. The solenoid coil can be activated by ASCR, UJT, FET, MOSFET. So the solenoid coil can be activated by A is correct, SCR, silicon controlled rectifier. Please, second question: which of the following statement is false? A solenoid converts physical displacement into electrical signal. Solenoid converts electrical signal into physical displacement. Solenoid is the actuator. D. A solenoid used to change the gears of the two-position transmission system. So our answer is A is correct. It is a false statement. A solenoid converts physical displacement into electrical signal. The frequently asked question from the topic: explain the principle of solenoid. Assignment: explain hydraulic actuator, where the hydraulic actuator is used, and explain the hydraulic actuator with operation. Next topic is stepper motor. On completion of the topic, you will be able to know about stepper motor, principle of operation, its advantages, disadvantages. A stepper motor, you can see the slide. with the animation. The stepper motor is a rotary machine. The rotation of the stepper motor by discrete steps according to their number of train of pulses. The air gap between the pole and stationary teeth that causes electrical pulses are generated, that causes a discrete steps of the rotation of the stepper motor. A stepper motor is a rotating machine that is actually completes full rotation by sequencing through a series of discrete rotational steps. Here, the stepper motor is a rotating machine that actually completes a full rotation by sequencing through a series of discrete rotational steps. Each step position is an equilibrium position in that without further excitation, the rotary position will stay at the latest step. Each step position is the equilibrium position in that without further excitation, the rotor position will stay at the latest step. Thus, continuous rotation is achieved by the input of a train of pulses, each of which causes an advance of one step. Here we can see that continuous rotation is achieved by the input of train of pulses, each of which causes an advance of one step. Each pulses causes one rotation, one step, one discrete step of the rotary motion will be allowable. It is not really continuous rotation but discrete, stepwise rotation. Discrete means stepwise rotation. The rotational rate is determined by the number of steps per revolution and the rates at which the pulses are applied. So here number of poles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12 positions are there. So here magnet having north and south poles. See six magnets. The rotation of the alignment between the stationary pole to the magnet causes the excitation of the winding of the particular poles, that causes one step of the discrete steps of rotational revolution of the stepper motor. The stepper motor you can see here. The magnets north and south poles and windings AB and CD, which are excited with pulse input switch sequencer through switch 1 S1 and S2. DC voltage is controlled the switches, that causes the switch sequencer pulse input is excited either A side of the winding or B side or C side or D side. Based on that, the rotational motion of the magnet, the rotational motion of the discrete steps of the stepper motor. The operation of the stepper motor can be understood from the simple model shown in the figure, which has a 90-degree for step. In this motor, the rotor is a permanent magnet that is driven by a particular set of electromagnets. In the position shown, the system is in equilibrium and no motion occurs. The switches are typically solid-state devices such as transistors, SCRs, or tracks. The switch sequencer will direct the switches through a sequence of positions as the pulses are received. The next pulse in figure 2a will change switch sequencer S2, switch S2 from C to D, and resulting the poles of that electromagnets are reversing fields. As shown in the figure, north and south poles and towards the south, so it is attracting. Next, in B figure, the rotation causes one more step like that, C and D. Now, because the pole north-south orientation is different, the rotor is refilled and attracted so that it moves a new position equilibrium shown in the figure 2b. So the north and south pole causes attraction, where the same poles causes repulsion. That causes one moment of the rotary position will be, discrete step will be moved, changed in the stepper motor. With the next pulse, S1 is changed to B, causing the same kind of pole reversal and rotation of the permanent magnet to a new position as shown in the figure 2c. Finally, the next pulse causes S2 to switch to C again, and the PM rotor again steps to a new equilibrium position as shown in the figure 2d. The next pulse will send the system back to the original state and the rotor to the original position. This sequence is then repeated as the pulse train comes in, resulting in a stepwise continuous rotation of the rotor permanent magnet. The most common stepper motor does not use a permanent magnet, but rather a rotor of magnet material, not a magnet with a certain number of teeth. Here, the most common stepper motor does not use a permanent magnet, but rather a rotor of magnetic field material, not a magnet with a certain number of teeth. This rotor is driven by a phased arrangement of coils with a different number of poles, so that rotor can never be perfect alignment with the stator. Here we can remember that this rotor is driven by a phase arrangement of the coils with a different number of poles, so that rotor can never be in a perfect alignment with the stator. So rotary position as a three-phase stepper motor. Q1, Q2 are transistors. (360), 170 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. The figure illustrates this for a rotor with 8 teeth and a stator with 12 poles. Here it contains 8 teeth and stator with 12 poles. The stator is stationary, the rotor is movable. One set of 4 teeth is alignment, but the other 4 are not. If the excitation placed on the next set of the poles B and taken off the first set A, then the rotor will be step once to the come into alignment with the B set of poles. The direction of rotation of the stepper motor can be changed just by changing the order in which different poles are activated and deactivated. The rotary having 8 poles, the stationary having 12 poles. The rotary to the stationary, the alignment 4 poles will be aligned, 4 will not be aligned. That causes one step will be moved. And the next B poles will be aligned, A poles will not aligned. So that causes one step of the rotation will be occur. Summary: we have discussed about stepper motor, principle of operation, advantages, disadvantages. Quiz: a stepper motor has a 10 degrees per step and must rotate at 250 rpm. What input pulse rate is required? A. 150 pulse per second. B. 9000 pulses per second. Here C. 250 pulses. D. None. The answer is 150 pulses per second. Here a stepper motor has a 10 degrees per step and must rotate at 250 revolution per minute. What input pulse rate is required? So you require is 150 pulses per second is required. Quiz 2. Which actuator is used for high speed and large forces are required? Pneumatic actuator. A. Pneumatic actuator. B. Electro-pneumatic actuator. C. Hydraulic actuator. D. None. The answer is hydraulic actuator. Which actuator is used for high speed and large forces are required is hydraulic actuator. The frequently asked questions: explain the principle of stepper motor. List the advantages of stepper motor. Next topic is control valves and plugs. Upon completion of the topic, you will be able to know control valve construction, different types of control valves, plugs. Control valve. A valve is used. A valve is a device that regulates the flow of fluid. The fluid may be gases, liquids, fluidized solids or slurries. By opening or closing or partially obstructing various passageways. Here, control valve is a device that regulates the flow of fluid by opening or closing or partially obstructing various passageways. Valves are technically pipe fittings. In a open valve, fluid flows in a direction from high pressure to low pressure. A typical control valves connected in a pipeline shown. It is a manually operated valve. The valve is opening or closing done by operating manually, so that it will provide a constriction or restriction in the pipeline, so that we can regulate the fluids passing through the pipeline. The fluids may be gases or slurries or fluids or fluidices. Gases or fluids or slurries. Control valves are valves used to control conditions such as flow, pressure, temperature and liquid level by fully or partially opening or closing in response to signals received from the controllers that compares a set point to a process variable whose values is provided by sensors that monitor changes in such conditions. The opening or closing of the control valves is done by means of electrical, hydraulic or pneumatic systems. The petitioners are used. So the positioners are used to control the opening or closing of the actuator based on the electric or pneumatic signals. These control signals traditionally based on 3 to 15 psi pounds per square inches, that is 0.2 to 1.0 bar. More common now are 4 to 20 milliamps of signals for industry, 0 to 10 volts for high voltage AC systems. Suppose if it is a high voltage AC system, we can use 0 to 10 volts. For industrial, we are common use of signals of electrical signal of current is 4 to 20 milliamps. So if it is a pneumatic signal, we can use 3 to 15 psi. Or in British system, we can say that 0.2 to 1.0 bar. The construction of the control valve. The control valve basically divided into three main parts: valve body and bonnet and stem. The control valve is basically divided into three main parts: valve body and bonnet and stem and plug. One part is body, 2 head, 3 ball, 4 lever handle, 5th stem. So the orifice the valve body, body and bonnet. The main parts of the valve body are body and bonnet. These two parts from cause casing that holds the fluid going through the valve. The bonnet is a casing through which The stem see below passes and that forms a guide and seal from the stem. The wall bodies are usually metallic, brass, branch, gunmetal, cast iron, steel, alloy steels and stainless steels. Wall bodies are usually metallic, brass, branch, gunmetal, cast iron, steel, alloy steels and stainless steels. Seawater application like desalination plants often use duplex walls as well as super duplex walls due to their corrosion resistant properties, particularly against the warm seawater. Body materials for various applications. Alloy 20 walls are typically used in sulfuric acid plants. Monal walls are used in hydrofluoric acids plants. Astley walls are often used in high temperature applications such as nuclear plants. Astley walls are often used in high temperature applications such as nuclear plants. Inconel walls are often used in hydrogen applications. Plastic bodies are used relatively low pressure and temperature. PVC, polypropylene and PVDF, polyvinyl fluoride and glass reinforced nylon or common plastic are used for the wall bodies. Thank you.